Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we are doing another window shopping video for Hella Handmade Creations. Hella Handmade, or HHC, is another pre-order marketplace, so similar to Polish Pickup, but instead of lasting over the weekend, it takes place over a whole week. And instead of having a monthly theme that every brand follows, each brand has their own individual theme. So as always, I will save some more thoughts for the end of the video. For now, let's just browse the website. Alright, so here is the website for Hella Handmade this month. The shop is going to be open from the 14th through the 21st as usual. So let's start by looking at the first two rows, and there are some pretty polishes here. None that, I want to buy, right? But the ones that I think are really pretty are the 1422 designs, Burr A Little Frosty. I especially love the base color in this. Not super crazy about the flakies, but the base does remind me of maybe like a winter version of Cirque's Anchors Away, where it's that kind of cornflower. Maybe this has more of a blue shimmer and the Cirque has a greenish shimmer, or maybe it's blue but then looks green in more extreme lighting. My mind's a little fuzzy on it now that I think about it, but it's similar enough to that. And again, I already have the Cirque. I don't love the flakies in this, so, it doesn't make sense to get it. And the only other one that I kind of like here is the Alchemy Lacquers Lilac Elixir. This one, though, reminds me of, oh my gosh, wait, what was it called? It was Rar by Mooncat from their Pretty Prehistoric collection. Maybe this is a little bit more pastel, or there's like something slightly off. But when it comes to a super light purple jelly filled with iridescent flakies, that's kind of where my mind goes. And I'm pretty sure I did already destash that Mooncat, so, I'm not really missing it from my collection, but it's still like a cute polish, but also just kind of simple enough to recreate at the same time. Maybe with one of Cirque's jellies and Holotaco's lunar unicorn skin. It's like a little bit more of a DIY process, but it's doable is my point. And yeah, the other shades, not really speaking to me so much. Like the other Alchemy Lacquers is gorgeous. I can imagine like a lot of other people probably very excited for this, but it's just another, dark purple with a blue shimmer. We've just seen it before. Still very pretty, but we'll see it again. So we can just move on to the next two rows, and actually let's just go on to the next two because I'm not really super into that one polish there. So unfortunately, I'm also not really into the shades here. I mean, maybe the Arcana, why do I always forget how to pronounce it? I think it's Arcana, right? Either way, this polish, this one is reminding me a lot of Apocalypse's Do You Guys Ever Think About Dying, which is the Barbie thermal. Maybe the Apocalypse is a little bit more pink, but definitely very similar, even with like the blue shimmer, although I think the shimmer in this stands out a bit more than the Apocalypse shade. So yeah, unfortunately these other shades not really speaking to me, so we can just move on. And from here, I mean, the BCB is like a gorgeous color, but not really one that I would be wearing personally. Oh, and I just realized there's two of them. I was talking about See Ya Later, super cute. But yeah, the only other one I'm like maybe kind of into is the Bee's Knees, just being like a purple with reflective glitter, the green reflective glitter. I think it would be a fun combo for Halloween, right? But I also just don't need it. And the bottom two shades, maybe this magnetic is, really nice. Like I love the magnetic shimmer in here. It almost reminds me of the shimmer in Cirque's Eye of the Beholder or something, but this looks like it has more of a black base, where it's just a lot darker, So yeah, not really tempting. So we can just keep it moving. Now from these two rows, again, there are some pretty shades that are catching my eye. I think this Cleona Stormwielder looks so beautiful. Like I love that bright magnetic shimmer in here, but it is also immediately reminding me of Island Pea's Rock Candy, or yeah, that one, the teal from last year's spring collection. I think this looks like it has little iridescent flakies or something too, so you know, slightly different but very similar, I think. So yeah, definitely don't need that. I also think this Colores de Carol Sunkissed Petals, oh, it looks so dreamy, but whoa, do you see that giant flaky in there? Yeah, this one having like the super large flakies. I know sometimes they like can be cool, but I don't know, sometimes when they end up on the nail, I'm like, oh, actually I don't really like this as much. But if it was just, you know, these smaller sort of flakies, right, it wouldn't be that bad. But I definitely like this more for the base color, the shimmer, just a super cute combination. So yeah, really pretty. And the one from the bottom row that I kind of like here is the cuticula called Social Butterfly. Oh my gosh, it is just so gorgeous. I love how like vibrant it looks, but again, just kind of a polish that I really wouldn't wear myself. Ooh, I want to say that this reminded me a little bit of the one Mooncat shade from the Alice in Wonderland collab. I think it was A Very Merry Unbirthday, but maybe this is a bit brighter or just like lighter. The Mooncat purple, I remember maybe being darker, but it just kind of had that same vibe of, you know, a dark purple base with a blue shimmer and then these multi-chrome like pink flakies, you know, so maybe not an exact dupe, but a similar vibe for sure. But yeah, unfortunately, the other magnetics, the other polishes here, not super interesting, and also not anything that I think is like familiar. I mean, maybe the Danny Viana shades are like the most simple or whatever to recreate, but yeah, they're just not really speaking to me. So we can keep going. And from here, okay, whoa, this Emily Damali Dark Romance, this looks so much like, oh, I think it was Penelope Loose from Polish Pickup, where it just kind of has that, you know, really strong contrast of the green shimmer against like a reddish burgundy base. I think this is more of a true red to green, and I think this also has like a black base. Well, it's described as a deep red nail polish. I don't know, it's just super dark, where I see like the red shimmer obviously, but beyond the red shimmer, the base looks black to me. So maybe this is a bit higher contrast than the one shade, but you know, kind of a similar vibe. I think maybe even Moonshine Manny came out with one like last month or so, but I don't remember if it was PPU or HHC, but yeah, either way, I guess we're just kind of seeing this, you know, color combination a bit more. The only other one, well, actually there's two that are kind of familiar here. The Elb Jazz Lyrical. I was gonna say, you know, that it was kind of giving Starly's Oceanic Moonlight, but this looks maybe more indigo. Yeah, it's described as a magnetic purple and a blue shimmer. So this is unfortunately probably one of those colors that's just a pain in the ass to capture color accurate, right? To me, it looks very indigo, but obviously the shimmer is very, you know, cobalt blue, which is similar to the Starly, but I think maybe this is just a bit darker if you were to compare them side by side. And the other one that was giving a familiar vibe is this Garden Path Holographic Roots, but I'm blanking out on what this is reminding me of. But it just feels like we've seen this finish before. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of getting Island Pea's Flicker, sort of, but I feel like I was thinking of something else. It's driving me crazy, but you know, it's cute. Like, it's a nice, like, I love the shimmer. Very cozy. It's a beautiful neutral sort of shade, right? But not one that I need. So yeah, we can just keep going to the next two rows that have polish. Now, from these two rows, don't get me wrong, I think the Hearts and Promises is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you know I love these like pinky coral kind of shades. So vibrant. I love that it's neon. It looks like it has a little bit of shimmer too. You know, let's just like look at some more photos, right? Because it's the middle of winter. It's like 3 degrees outside. This is just putting me in a much warmer tropical place, and I love that. But yeah, I definitely don't need it for my collection. It's also a bit more jelly than I was expecting. From this photo, I thought it was going to be more of a cream, right? Just, with like a little hint of the shimmer, but you can definitely see some visible nail line here. Not that it's a bad thing for me personally, but I know some people are not fans of that. So yeah, we can keep going, I guess. Oh, the only other shade here actually that's giving a familiar vibe is this Hula Moon, where it's reminding me a lot of Holo Taco's Precious Cargo from the Bon Voyage collection. I'm pretty sure there was like an Island P dupe for it. I just don't have it in my collection. I remember sharing a photo comparison, but I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, just, having this dark espresso brown linear hollow base with a pink shimmer. It's very similar to that. So in case anybody is interested, I guess. But yeah, we can go to the next 2 rows, and yeah, honestly, I'm not really into these shades. Unfortunately, they're not for me. This Berries was kind of giving me Mooncat's Nocturne, but I think this is a darker, well, yeah, it's described as being a black base. I know the Mooncat can look really dark, but it is technically like a teal, so I feel like depending on the lighting, you can see that, deep teal blue sort of color. But yeah, it's kind of that similar vibe with especially the magnetic color and the flakies in the background. But yeah, these other shades, not really for me, so we can keep going. And okay, some more pretties here. I think the Lurid Floral Frenzy, this looks so much like the shade that they already have called Nettle and Briar, but with a little, what is this, like a silver shimmer, or is it like a hollow? Yeah, a micro hollow flaky and an aurora shimmer. I guess, yeah, the shimmer in this is maybe more purple compared to Nettle and Briar, but I feel like you could just kind of recreate it, with a few toppers. The other Lurid is kind of giving Holo Taco's Cowboy Tears, maybe. I mean, this does have reflective glitter, so it's like a little different in that way. I think maybe the shade of blue is also slightly off. Like maybe here it looks like it because it's more, vibrant because of the reflective glitter. But yeah, it's a pretty shade, but not one that I need. I do really like this Moonshine Manny Hollow Night, but it is also kind of looking like Holo Taco's Alien Infatuation. Maybe a little bit more pastel. Maybe not. Depending on the photo, I guess. Looking at Caitlin's photo, I was like, okay, this is like a really, really soft gray. But then seeing it here, it's so much darker looking. So, maybe a bit of a chameleon, but yeah, it's just a nice color combination, right? And the other shades, like they're pretty in their own ways. Like I like the colors generally. They're just not really for me, and I also, again, can't think of something that's similar to them, so I'm sorry about that. Maybe this Moth and Moon Gary the Snake, maybe this is more similar to like I was gonna say a KB Shimmer, but I don't think KB Shimmer has a shade like this. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm just like thinking of different polishes all mixed together. But yeah, that's it from this chunk, so we can just keep going. Obviously from here, the one that is catching my eye the most is Nailed It's Laid Back. Oh, I love the base color in this. This is like the shade of pink that I wanted in Holo Taco's Off the Deep End collection. Like What a Catch, was pretty. It still worked with the shades, but I also would have wanted something like this where it's just that warmer, like more corally sort of shade. Just so incredibly gorgeous, perfect for summer. I was gonna say this is sort of giving me like Mooncat's Strangeberry, but I think that might be more pink and this is more coral, but it's honestly kind of hard to say because I know shades like this can also be a bit, of a chameleon as well. It is super gorgeous though. Love that one. And the other shades are not really for me. And the only one that's kind of giving a familiar vibe is this Nirvana Beauty Reef or Ruin. I feel like There's probably like a lurid that is really similar to this. Oh, maybe even, you know, ethereal, lumen, like any brand that does very sheer but super glowy shimmers. You know what I mean? Like they probably have put out this color combination already. So yeah, it looks familiar in that way. So, you know, but still very pretty, right? Like I love the glow, but yeah, again, just, you know, not for me, and that's okay. So we can keep going to the next 2 rows. And from here, okay, I would say my favorite one is this Paint It Pretty polish, 6 Feet of Fun. I am clearly in my topper era right now, and this one is so freaking cute. I love the combination of the pink and yellow. I feel like Noodles, maybe they just had a glitter Crelly that had a similar mix but not a glitter topper. I might be wrong though, I kind of forget what they have sometimes, but this is just a super cute combination, you know. I kind of don't love that it has a lot of the square glitters. It also looks like really dense. I'm assuming this is one coat, but who knows, right? Oh, but it looks so cute over white though. Oh my gosh, I love that. This for summer, super cute, but I do not need it, even though again I am enjoying my toppers. I don't want to run out of room in my topper drawer so quickly. But yeah, these other shades aren't really giving familiar vibes either, so yeah, I guess we just have to keep going. And from here, okay, cute, we have a little butterfly glitter from Pepper Polish. I mean, obviously when I think of butterfly glitter, I'm thinking of Fauve's Butterfly Garden, and they did have a blue version, right? But this is more teal green, I want to say, than the glitters in the Fauve. This is also very densely packed, especially with like the tinier glitters too. Like it is super packed with glitters. So definitely a cute option, you know, if you want something that's more teal or green and mint. But for the polishes themselves, I would say the Penelope Luz single, I Love Cupcakes, and the Pepper Polish single, Sovereign Tides, are the most interesting to me, but they're also the most simple, right? Just being, you know, these solid color magnetics. So yeah, we can just keep going to the next 2 rows, I guess. From this chunk, I would say the standout for me is the Psyche Minerals called Valentina. Oh my gosh, I love this base color. Oh, it is so gorgeous. And of course, not to mention that it's filled with reflective glitters, these iridescent flakies, just super stunning. So lush and juicy. This is beautiful, super beautiful. One that I am tempted by, but you know, I don't want to get, even though I don't think I have anything like this. When I think of deep berries with reflective glitters, I think of KB Shimmer's Let the Beat Drop, which, you know, maybe has some like similarities, right? But it's not a one-to-one dupe. This definitely has a juicier jelly sort of base. Maybe some of these darker photos, like, you know, where the polish looks a little bit deeper in color, it might look more similar to the KB Shimmer, but even still, there's, you know, it's missing the flakies and whatnot, so it's a little different, right? But yeah, just very stunning. I had to see some more photos of it. And from these other shades, you know, nothing really calling to me. I guess when it comes to similar polishes, this Phoenix We Could, it's giving Mooncat's Pixie Stick a little bit. I mean, this has a very strong yellow golden kind of color, and I remember the shimmer in Mooncat being a lot more green, which you can see here. But yeah, it looks like it's gold head on and then shifts to green in extreme light, but then Mooncat was green head on that shifted to blue and indigo and whatnot. So a similar vibe, but still very pretty. Always love a white shimmer like that. But yeah, unfortunately these other shades aren't giving me or like reminding me of anything else really, so we can move on to the next 2 rows. And from here, this Red-Eyed lacquer ET Phone Home, Okay, so since it's an encore, we probably have seen it before, and I probably was gushing over it already. But yeah, it is super pretty. Like, I love the base color, the shimmer. The flakies, like, I get that it adds to the sparkle, but visually, it's just kind of a lot. At least for me. I think it's, you know, too many flakies. Maybe this is something that would look better in video as opposed to the photos, but it's still a pretty color. But yeah, these other two polishes, the Ribbit Stick, it's unfortunately not really calling to me, so we can go into these next two rows. And okay, here we definitely have some more glowy shimmers. The Rogue, scary beyond all reason. Okay, this is another encore, so probably already was gushing over it. But yeah, even though it is beautiful, it is also the purple and blue color combination that we've seen time and time again. I think the closest one that, at least, you know, that I can think of right now is maybe Cracked Polish's Infinite Thrill. Wait, no, that one's more blue, isn't it? I mean, there's definitely something out there that is more similar to this one, even if I am blanking on it right now. Hopefully editing me will, you know, insert at least one other polish or photo. I think this other Rogue is really pretty too. I was gonna say it's sort of giving like Mooncat's Flight of the Monarchs, but it has a very strong, you know, pinky coral base color, while Flight of the Monarchs is more lavender in its base, right? But the way that it like shifts, you know, the strong orange to the gold, it's kind of similar to that. I wonder if maybe this is similar to Holo Taco's Encryption Key, or, you know, something like that, right? Where it's just that coral sort of color. I can maybe see the similarity there. And the only other one I kind of really like from here is the Sassy Cats Encore Tears of the Kingdom. Just a beautiful color. Haven't played the game, but very pretty. And I want to say this is like also kind of familiar, but it also looks a little bit unique at the same time. Other shades that I'm thinking of are either much more blue or green, so, you know, it's not quite like this, but similar enough, at least, you know, when it comes to my collection. And speaking of similar, this Rogue King Arthur's Carousel, doesn't that look like the alchemy from earlier? When it comes to, you know, a purple jelly with iridescent flakies. I know the main difference is that this has more of a warmer, like a pink and orange pop in the flakies, but it looks like there are also these really tiny micro glitters. So that definitely wasn't in the alchemy. But yeah, kind of similar bases otherwise. But yeah, other than that, I think we can just move on to the next two rows. And from the polishes, you know, like they look nice, like pretty colors, right? The Sassy Pants being this purple sort of glittery shade. I was gonna say it maybe was giving like one of the Mooncat Medusa purples that I always, you know, get the names confused. Maybe Sealed with a Hiss is like the darker one. So, you know, it's like a similar vibe-ish, but yeah, not not really a dupe. And then the other Sassy, or not the other, that was Sassy Pants. This one is Sassy Sauce, called Apple Teeny, being this very sheer green glowy shimmer with iridescent flakies. You know, it's cute. The closest that I have to this is like Pixie Polish's De-Icer, which I recently picked up, but it's very different at the same time. So I don't think I would really call them dupes, but you know, it's a cute bright green. So yeah, we can keep going. And okay, this Watcha down here, beautiful color, stunning. Like I love, it's just such an enchanting shade, right? It's called Poseidon. I think this is a bit more teal than Mooncat's Poseidon's Prize, for example. That one's like very blue. Yeah, this is maybe darker, because the only other teal magnetic that I can think of, at least like a true teal, is Island Pea's Rock Candy. And I think this is just like a deeper, maybe more like winter version. But it is so stunning. Very beautiful color. And yeah, the other polishes, unfortunately, not doing it for me. Not really you know, giving familiar vibes. So we can move on to the last 2 rows. I want to say this zombie train is kind of looking like one of the Mooncat shimmers. Oh my god, I think it's Misery is my favorite color, right? That's kind of like this denim blue, you know, crully with like a blue shimmer. Maybe this is a little lighter or not lighter, like I don't know, there's something about the color that I don't think is, you know, an exact match. I mean, this is described as a moody purplish blue. I don't think the Mooncat was as purple. It's more of like a gray blue if I remember correctly, but a very gorgeous color. And speaking of gorgeous colors, the other zombie claw, Sea Glass Stardust. Oh, that looks so pretty. Super, super pretty. Like what a perfect mermaid kind of polish, you know? Such an interesting color, right? From here it looks so blue, like, you know, this aqua turquoise, but then here it's very like seafoam green. Oh, it's so pretty though. I think it generally is more in the green leaning side as opposed to blue, but I guess it really just could depend on, you know, your lighting, your skin tone, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty, but not really one that I want to get. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I have another empty wish list. And yep, there is nothing in here. So we are 2 for 2 when it comes to skipping the monthly pre-orders. And that wraps up my window shopping for February's Hella Handmade. As always, I would love to know what you think of this month's offerings and if you're gonna be buying anything or if you're gonna be joining me in skipping this month. As you saw, I was tempted by like a couple of polishes. There definitely were some pretty options that, you know, it was nice to look at, but overall nothing too tempting that I felt like I needed in my collection. So overall, I just enjoyed window shopping this month for HHC a little bit more than PPU. And I know I said in my PPU video that it's kind of like bittersweet that, you know, I don't end up with anything in my wish list at the end of it. At the same time, it makes for a very successful window shopping, which is obviously what I want to do. So I feel really good now that I am skipping both of the pre-order shops for this month. I'm not necessarily going on like a no or low buy. I mean, I guess technically I should be on a low buy because I am always like running out of room with like all the PR and whatnot, but I never want to like set that as a hard rule for myself just because I feel like it's really restrictive. But if I can like skip more months this year, I think that would be a really awesome goal. So, you know, we'll see how it goes, right? But taking it 1 month at a time, I'm just really glad that February is a complete skip for me. But again, make sure you let me know what you have on your wish list, if anything, or just share any and all thoughts you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!